Nothing like a "You Are Live" right across your forehead. Good morning, everyone, to Terri Hardin's AMA. And to those of you on YouTube, welcome. This is my third Ask Me Anything. And yes, if you've seen my other Ask Me Anything YouTubers, they go long. This is in honor of COVID-19. But rest assured, if you're someone who has a short attention span, or you're someone who just would like to, you're busy, you maybe have a life, then you don't have to listen to it all at once. And I will be doing little sound bites from this in the future, and I will post them on my YouTube channel. So that if you want to see the questions, but you got maybe 10 minutes, AMA in 10 minutes is probably about what I'm going to do. But like a big loaf of bread, I'm going to take this one, slice it up, and that way, for those of you with shorter attention spans or have stuff to do, you can start to listen to those. Plus, I'm going to create a podcast mainly just for listening. So it will be the audio portions of these coming soon, and you'll get to be able to listen to them in your car if you happen to be driving, or anytime, at work if you want to. My husband said that this really helps him because he is at work and he has it in the background of me chatting away, and it really helps him. And many of you have said the same thing, and I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, AMA, let's pull that puppy up. As usual, we start and finish with your comments as best I can, but I do give you a warning. Okay. Just give me a second here. I'm going back to I had this all set up, and then of course I changed my mind and wanted to do something else. So that kind of happens when you have an idea of what you want to share, and then all of a sudden you go, nah, I want to share this, or I want to share that. So I'm just going to look real quick and see if I can find what I want to share, and if I can't, oh well, but if I can, yay for me. Okay, here we go. Maybe in here. And then again, maybe not. Go away. No! Ugh. Technology, sometimes it has a mind of its own. It just wants to do what it wants to do without any help from me. So, oh well, I'll look later. But it is definitely eluding me right now because it wants to. I think that's really funny that it's doing that to me right now. Isn't it fun to just sit and watch me thumb through my photos and say, don't stop it, you little stinkers. You're just awful. Go back. Oh dear, look what I did now. I'll tell you, me and technology, I'm not that great at it, guys. You think I'm great at it. I'm minimally great at it. I'm great at one thing, and then I do something else. I screw it up, and then I'm like, Rrr. So anyway, let's not talk at the front of this. I'll look again in a minute. Okay, I'll keep looking in a minute. So before we jump into the AMA, let's look at your comments as I promised. Good grief. And here we are. See, one of the things that you have told me is you like seeing your stuff up here, and so do I. Because I get to read it, and then you get a little bonus. So there you go. Look at there. Ava is in the house. Hello, everyone. Yay. I enjoy these too, because it lifts me up, guys. It really does. So thank you for doing that. I wanted to make a couple announcements. First of all, my store is finally Terri has finally got her act together with her store. So here it is. Here is the store. So if you really wanted those railroad cachets with Walton Ward, this is where you can go to get them. And then you can look at other things I have in the store as well, and just kind of peruse around and take a look. I wanted to make sure you knew if PayPal is your thing, and I get it. I've got a few of you out there that like to pay through PayPal. Use the Square Store to kind of add up what you need to pay me, and then give me a shout out, and you can tell me you're going to put it through PayPal. I was really working hard to make it both the same, but unfortunately they want to double dip. They want to charge me both for PayPal's interest and Square's interest just to put it in my Square store. So why would I do that? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. On top of something else, but I'm not even going to go into it. PayPal, I can go, we pay their percent, right? And then if you do it in the Square store, we pay their percent. But it's separate, and it's one for each. So I hope you follow me on that. But that's the situation. Also, the pumpkin show is coming up, guys. Yay! It's this Sunday. And if you want to learn more, you're not going to believe this. My website is actually getting worked on. It's not my web designer's fault. Yours truly is the problem, okay? I am slow with this website thing. So some of the pages work, some of them don't. For one thing, you can sign up, put your email in, and you get this nice little gift of Disney drawings if you want to be a part of the website. I haven't really been promoting that too much, but it's terrihardin.com, and then you just sign up. You're lucky if you get an email from me, because I'm still working that out on how to even respond to you through the website. So you're safe. You're not going to get inundated with a bunch of stuff. I don't have that kind of time. It's amazing how much time people have to send you 50 emails, but you ask the people in Terry's tribe. That just doesn't happen. It happened one time because I wanted to make sure the emails were getting to them and which way was the best, and they all told me, and then it became one email. And so you're not going to get inundated with emails, but you are going to be able to keep up on what's happening. And this event page cuts through all of that, takes you straight to what is this pumpkin show, Extreme Pumpkins. I mean, Outrageous Pumpkins. This Extreme Outrageous Pumpkins. But anyway, Outrageous Pumpkins. What's it about? Each episode is listed there. And then you can go over to the Food Network, click on shows, and read about meeting the contestants. Okay? So it's all there on this. You just click on this link, ba-bam, off you go. Okay? Yay! So I wanted to let you know about that. And I wanted to let you know about the store, because many of you have been writing to me, and orders are coming in. So if you have ordered those stamps and things, they're going out. And Leo, I haven't forgotten you. First of all, thank you, Leo Holzer, today for the questions. But also, Leo, I know you want to make the announcement to your group. So now that this store is out, I will send you a little blurb about them and stuff, and that way you can do it, and maybe a little video as well. Okay? Yeah. But I haven't forgotten it. It's just ghosts are on my brain right now. Okay? Okay. Yay! So there you go. Back to your comments before we get started. And let's see. Here we go. No Mickey Mouse music while we wait. That's a good idea. M-I-C-K-E-Y. I'll remember that. Thank you. Oh, you are? Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm quite a judge. Well, I want to go over and look on the Food Network to meet the contestants, because I didn't. One of the things that I was very adamant about was I didn't want to meet the contestants and fall in love with them, because it really needed to be based on their work. And that can be very hard if you love someone and so you love that person. You just go, oh, this person is really clicking with me, right? And then you go, so it becomes a conflict. So I didn't do that. And so now I get to go watch the show and learn about them. And I'm very excited about that. It is very exciting, Jessica. And the nice thing about the Food Network is they repeat and repeat and repeat. So you can see old shows I've judged, where Ray Villenfane, who is the Pumpkin King, was a contestant. And then you can see Halloween Wars. They show every season of Halloween Wars. In fact, Halloween Wars is counting down to the new shows. The first, I guess it's 10th episode of Halloween, 10th season of Halloween Wars. And then our show follows that. So you can pop in and see all the different ones. And take a special look at episode 5. My friend Joseph Yakovetic was in that episode as a pumpkin sculptor. He's got a bald head, usually wears a kerchief. And you can see some of the things that he does. He's pretty talented. You know, pumpkin people, he's a painter. But we do pumpkins as well, don't you? Because as an artist, you're always looking for a new medium to play with. So that's how that happens. But yeah, please check it out. It's going to be super cool. It's going to be super, super cool. And I'm very proud to be a part of a show that's not full of baloney. Do you know when we were getting our buttons from the 65th? You know, I sent a shout out to Dayton Disneyana and found out that Anita was celebrating her birthday at Walt Disney World. So I have to wait for her to get back, and then I will ask the question again because I was wondering that too. I actually forgot about it. Ghosts on the brain, and so when you mentioned it, Deanna, I sent her a shout out. But we're gonna have to wait a little bit because she's partying down at Walt Disney World. And if you're listening to this, apparently Walt Disney World is very safe, a lot of space, so you can go and have fun down there. Just be careful when you go outside of property because Florida's numbers are up again. So just really watch out for yourself. Hand sanitizer, wipes, etc. Right? Right. Okay. Happy Friday. Bonnie, thank you very much. Yes, these holiday shows will get you in the Halloween spirit, won't they? And everybody is wondering what we're going to do for Halloween. In fact, Nate put out a purple pumpkin. And then I can't remember who said, no, just turn the light on. It was just cute. It was just cute. I know he wasn't being sarcastic, but it gave me a giggle. So that was very, 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 very funny. So there you go. Anyway, this is where you go to learn more about the show, the Outrageous Pumpkin Show, and I hope you will check it out. You know, if not, what'll happen the following week is they will show the first part of the show, and then you'll see the new second episode, because that's what they do. This is the lovely thing about the Food Network is you can, catch up. And that's what I love about it. Or if you want to just see it again, So that's what's so cool about it. Okay, on to the questions. Thank you again, Leo, for doing this. I really am, and I also want to thank all of you for stepping up and asking your questions. And I'm going to urge you to ask the questions again and tag Leo at Leo Holzer, okay? Or you can message me, or you can post them in the comments, and Leo will be, he'll be scouting. As so will I. Okay? All right. Excellent. Yay! Woohoo! So let's get back. I'm going to take this off of here so that you just see Terri Hardin is alive. All right. Topical questions. Have you seen the trailer for season 2 of The Mandalorian? And your reactions to it, as well as the announcement that Jon Favreau has already completed a handful of scripts for season 3. Have you seen any of the 10-episode behind-the-scenes documentary Disney Gallery Star Wars? No, I have not. I hate to keep blaming it on things like the ghosts, but I work nonstop on so much stuff right now that I don't have time to watch anything. So I have to watch things that I know really well. So I have in my background while I'm working, Zatoichi the Blind Swordsman, because I have the Japanese memorized. I can actually play the scenes in my head while it's on that back monitor right here. I don't even need to watch it. Seriously, I don't need to watch it. I know it in my head. I know it so well. It's stuff like that I have to do, or Lone Wolf and Cub, or Doc Martin. I know all of those so well that they play in my head, or Bambi, Dumbo, Fantasia, Mulan, things like this that I put on the back so that I know. But if I have to pay attention to it, it becomes a distraction, so I don't. And I have not signed up for Disney Plus for that reason, because if I'm not watching it, it's not a good investment, is it? I will start to watch it, but the ghosts have got to be done. I have to finish them. And of course, when you're working on one thing, one of the things you may not realize as an artist is that, but if you do, what will happen is when you're focused really, laser on something, other ideas pop up. And I came up with a new title for a book, for my memoir, actually. I came up with a new title. And so I had to write that down and said I would really like to write that. And then the Star Wars book, which a lot of you have been asking me about. So no, I haven't seen that. What I have seen is I read this article and they weren't sure it was fake or not, or a rumor or not, that the lead actor who's playing the actual Mandalorian has left. Have you heard this? He's left, and apparently it was because he wanted more helmets off shots of his face. Now, one of the challenges, and if we take this, let's not focus on him for a moment. Let's focus on another familiar character that you all love, Darth Vader. In the original Star Wars, Darth Vader was played by David Prowse, and he had the same challenge because you can put other people inside any kind of a suit that's completely enclosed and covered up. It's really not job security for the suit performer necessarily. There are specs. They're going to have wide shoulders and be able to, but in the case of Darth Vader, but when we think of Darth Vader, we think of the voice, James Earl Jones. So what David Prowse also discovered was that when he tried to fight for his character, it didn't necessarily go well. And so this is what I feel the actor who plays the Mandalorian was feeling. And but the sad thing is that I really don't want more helmet off sequences. When I watched Mandalorian 1, the one thing I didn't like was the identity of the Mandalorian. I love that being mysterious and man with no name kind of thing. I really love that. Doesn't help the actor, but it really helped the story, I thought. So for me, I like him being incognito, but of course, if you're looking for your job security as a performer, of course you're going to try to get more of that so you can be established as that character. But I really don't want to see, they have this policy of not showing their faces. I like that. I thought that was a really cool thread, and I hope they keep it. And I'm sorry that doesn't really swing in the way that this actor wants, if this story is true. I saw the trailers. They look exciting to me. But then I have this adoration for Jon Favreau. I really think that Jon has a really strong handle on what it is to be a true aficionado of Star Wars genre. He's actually jumping in. And I've even heard that he's had trouble. Apparently, George Lucas is in there tweaking, and I'm not quite sure what kind of control or what George Lucas got, let go of and what he retained in the Star Wars franchise. But apparently he's been a bit of a challenge too, because his vision, of course, is going to be different from John's. They're human beings. That's the way it works. But apparently there's a little bit of a push me, pull you there too. So, I think it's great. I think that I'm looking forward to seeing behind the scenes. Basically, once the ghosts are in full swing, I will sign up for Disney Plus and I will binge watch quite a bit of stuff that I like. Because I've heard a lot of things out there that I like, and some no. But like I would not pay $30 for Mulan. I'm sorry. I just watched the animated version. It's one of my favorite movies. Enough that I can visualize from the music what's happening. The obvious stuff like "Let's get down to business" is just makes me crazy. I just love that sequence. And then I also like the sequence where they're all dressed as geishas. The guys are all dressed as geishas. And then I also love the villain. I think the villain is one of the best villains to come out. I would really love to sculpt him because he's scary, And then his evil hawk, just terribly cool character. Just, everybody loves a good villain, especially one who stays a villain and they all don't turn into wicked. But I digress. Let me make sure that I answered everything here. The scripts, yes. Jon actually could do what George Lucas did, and I would be very, very happy. And what is that? George Lucas wrote 12 treatments for 12 episodes, 12 books of Star Wars when he started. And so, honestly, if Favreau can do that, yay, because he'll keep the brand nice. I think Disney has made the brand too watery, and I've said this before. They've watered down the brand. Too many coming out at the same time, and then also just stories have not been good. They've been lazy. There, I said it. Sorry, no catalytic converter on my mouth. They've been very lazy. So I want better Star Wars. And I think you don't need to be lazy. Just take them. You don't need to have a Star Wars every year. You really, really don't. Some of the fun of Star Wars is anticipating that next adventure. And then do better than you did before if you can. You can't always, but that's what, and then, of course, Star Wars was the first, and it actually, I'm getting a little warm in here. It actually, so I'll show you my Stitch shirt while I take off my jacket. But actually, Empire, when it hit, was just like, whoa! And then there was Jedi, which was kind of but still, Empire was, even today, it's, with the inability to do a lot of computer generated stuff, they did so much stuff, and some of the creatives that had to do with Star Wars and with Empire are just brilliant. John Dykstra, so brilliant, Phil Tippett, just brilliant people doing brilliant stuff. You could name all of the amazing people, Rick Baker, Lane Liska, just wow. So I love those movies, because when you didn't have computer generated images to fall back on, which are challenging, okay? It's just that you can make anything in that kind of universe. Whereas when it was all physical universe, you had some challenges. And so that's why I like the original movies. Okay. Patrick Cronus, I think is what you said. What work did you do on Ghostbusters? Tell us your best story about each cast member. Sigourney Weaver, Rick Dan Aykroyd. Oh, he's got it twice here. That's okay. Harold Ramis, director Ivan Reitman. Yeah, Ghostbusters. What a great experience. What a great. Okay, so I was doing a little film you may have heard of, called Dune. And the way it works when you are in the effects industry, whether you are a puppeteer or you're building, or in my case, both, like double mint gum, two in one. What happens is that as the things start to die down, you find yourself coming to the close of a film. Other films, other people start to migrate over to other films. And I'm just looking through here because there's a ton of things I can show you, but I wanted to show you this one first, if I can find it. And like I said, I had it all queued up, and then, of course, I wanted to show something to my tribe and lost that picture. So I'm going very slowly here to find it so that I can show it to you. And then we will show you other stuff. But I really have my heart set on showing you this one. So let me see if I can find it. You'd think I'd have them all together, but I don't. So there you go. Disorganization, organization. There it is. Okay. There it is. There it is. Yay! So this picture here, kind of in a nutshell, shows you what I did on Ghostbusters. I helped build the Marshmallow Man with its designer, Bill Bryant, and Bill Bryant is inside the Marshmallow Man, while I am outside with a team of puppeteers working on the face. The terror dog that you see peeking next to me, and the harness that I'm wearing, and yes, quite a hairstyle, isn't it? That terror dog is the dog that Sigourney Weaver turns into. So I walked in to help build the Marshmallow Man. No, I actually walked in to, yeah, that's good. Now I'm in duplicate. Let's unduplicate. Okay. I walked in to show my portfolio to get a job on Ghostbusters. And he saw that I was a puppeteer. That would be Stuart Ziff. He was running the shop. He's another amazing fella. And Stuart asked me if I was someone who would be interested in puppeteering or performing this dog. And he said, do you think if you do the dog, you can give it feminine attributes? Now, just so you know, when someone is asking you this question, your answer is always an emphatic yes. So I said yes. They strapped me into this dog and I performed it. Now, how it was performed is that you clip yourself into a harness that is a stunt harness. So if you've seen racers, they have the strap here, the strap around the waist. One comes up between I don't know if I think one comes up between their legs too. I haven't looked that carefully. And it clips, kind of multi-clip, right here. And I hung from that while placing my feet on a piece of pipe that had been plastered in place so that I was horizontal. If you've heard my story about Captain EO, this must be my life, is laying flat way up in the air. Again, I was 40, 50 feet in the air when performing this dog. When I auditioned for the animal, I wasn't that high. I climbed up into wood scaffolding. I got up and I performed him. And basically, I made his head go rar, rar, rar. And then he would go this, like, and he would do this, right? And then somebody on a radio control would do the blinking and I would open the mouth, like that, stuff like that. And then I was in the refrigerator when the eggs pop out and they sizzle, and she opens her refrigerator and it goes, Zool. And then the one where she's in, she gets grabbed by all the hands and the door opens and the animal is in fog. That's me too. Turning his head and stuff. So those were me as the monster dog. Okay. And then afterwards, while I was performing the dog, I also did the Marshmallow Man with Bill. And we had a team of about, I'd say 8 people maybe. And we built this lovely Marshmallow Man. Now, Bill was the designer. So, and I'll see if I can find an early shot, maybe not, of his design. But I will show you some of these things. So it was really long hours, really tough. I got the job as the dog. I want to tell you I was very excited about that. And then I was asked, especially, Bill actually called me up, I think, and said, come do the Marshmallow Man with me. And here's our shop right here. You'll notice that there is a Marshmallow Hitler in the lower right-hand corner. And that is because we were working 7 days a week and we started to feel like we were machines and not creatives. We were exhausted. So we started to get a little wonky because 7 days turns into 14, turns into 21, turns into 28. And by that, you're contemplating the sparkle of your tools, You're kind of high. And what happens is you're just like sitting, people walked in and there we were like, ooh, this is really cool. Wow. And we weren't getting work done. So finally, the Ghostbusters team said, hey, we got to give these people a breather because they're not functioning properly. And here's another shot of it. And then that walking shot. Yeah, that's something else. I'm always drawing. There we go. Yeah. Ooh, Tinkerbell. What does she have to do with anything? But anyway, yes. So these shots are pretty cool. I was trying to see if I had the one of Eric Fiedler and I. There it is. This one is Eric Fiedler and I. Eric is an amazing person. He's gone on to do some really super cool stuff. But here we are creating the Marshmallow Man. And there were, if I come back to me and talk to you a little bit while I search for the next picture. Oops. Don't do it that way, Terry. Okay. There we go. Me and technology. But I'm going to see if next thing I want to show you is if I can find them on the rack. And that way I can explain it better. But basically we made 3 hero suits. Hero meaning the ones that Bill Bryant wore, where he walked around in it and you saw that he was seamless. The Marshmallow Man, not Bill. And so he was seamless. And so the zipper was in the front when we shot when camera was at the back. Zipper was on the side when the camera was shooting 3/4, and of course, the zipper was in the back when they shot him from the front, meaning again the Marshmallow Man. So I'm just looking to see. I'm going to go back because I think I passed it. But then there were 18 burning suits because, as you know, the Marshmallow Man burned and he caught fire, right? Like roasting marshmallows. So what happens is there was a stunt person inside that suit, and we had to make sure that that stunt person didn't roast along with the outfit. So that was a little challenging because I'm looking to see. There it is. I think that's close enough. There you go. Okay, so here you see Marshmallow Hitler again, but there's a zipper you can see from the back. If I were to take you to camera 2 really quickly, just so I could point on it, there's a zipper here, and then there's a zipper here. See that 3/4? And see that zipper right there? Marshmallow Hitler. Okay, so basically that is the 2 of the hero suits that we created. And then there was a third, of course, that the zipper was in the back so that you could shoot from the front. I was trying to see if I have one of Bill in the suit, but I don't know if I do. I'm looking now. I'll have to organize this for you so that I put it together, but I have ghosts on the brain right now. Did I say that before? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I did. Oh, you're watching me go through it. Sorry. That's boring to have me do that. Sorry about that, guys. So yes. So honestly, I could easily go through these like a Rolodex and you would have a lot of fun. Just saying. Here's the group. Here's all of us. And you've got Stuart Stiff down below. Then you've got Lance Anderson. You've got Mark. You've got Steve. Mark. You got a ton of really amazing people in here. Just amazing, talented group. And here they are. And then I'm in the middle with my hair, the red striped shirt, and everything. So, yeah, this is Team Ghostbusters, a great group of talented people. Kind of surprised that it doesn't have, like, Stuart's eyes or something. But anyway, so there's that. And, here we go. So to tell you some stories about the fellows is, and like I said, I was really hoping I would be able to show you one with Bill in his outfit, but I don't see that picture. Oh, here's a close-up of Marshmallow Hitler. It's when you've had too much work and not enough rest time. So, note to you, rest, right? And then if I show you, here we are on the set. We're actually dressing Bill. That little head between in that little crevice right there is Bill getting suited up. And all of us making faces about what it smells like because he's been in there a long time. We teased him a lot about stuff like that. And then here we are joking around, me and my friend joking around as turtles. These are the treated shells. That's fire retardant on that half. And that helped to keep, and then the foam is a fire retardant foam. That helped the stuntman who was playing the character to keep from burning to death. Note to you, something that's very important, that you don't want them burning. So that was the idea there. But, okay. You got some Ghostbuster stuff. So you also want a story of the guys. So my favorite story about the guys, about the Ghostbusters, Team Ghostbusters team, I got a couple of them. But the favorite story that I have about the guys is Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. So I go on the set for the first time. I'm very excited. It's my second movie. My first movie was Dune. I had stunt doubled for Sean Young. I came off of there, thinner, perkier, and happier, and then slid right into Ghostbusters, and I was so happy. I'm not a good analyst for scripts, so I would never make a good script reader because I don't laugh when I read it, but I certainly do laugh when someone else does. And so, so I didn't know if the movie was going to be good or not. I just was happy to have a job, honestly. And so I met right away. I saw Bill Murray, and I'm a huge fan of Caddyshack. So I walked up to Bill Murray and I said, Bill Murray, my name is Terri Hardin. I am going to play the terror dog Sigourney Weaver turns into. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, I just wanted you to know I loved you in Caddyshack. And he fell back and he went like this. And he was like, Caddyshack? Caddyshack? What? And I said, yeah, my mentor, my puppet mentor, plays the gopher. And I said, so I watched it for the gopher, but I really, really thought you were sensational and I just wanted you to know. And he goes, well, that's ridiculous. He said, that movie is so old. What about Saturday Night Live? And I was like, oh, well, I don't own a TV set. I haven't seen Saturday Night Live. And you guys who watch Saturday Night Live during the fab guys that were on it, Aykroyd, Murray, Joe Belushi, etc., then you know what a huge hit this show was and how surprising it would be to somebody that somebody hadn't seen it, but I had not. And Bill Murray says, we can't have that. I'm sorry, Terri. I can't believe you haven't seen that show. I said, well, I don't own a TV. And he was like, Dan! And he calls Dan Aykroyd. Now, Dan Aykroyd cracked me up because he looks a lot to me like Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. And if you don't know who those are, Google them. But the thin one. And he was walked up. He was wearing a leather jacket, and he had a very sweet smile. And his hair was all spiky. And he said, this is Terri Hardin, and I just can't have her on the set because she has not seen a single episode of Saturday Night Live. She says she doesn't have a TV. Well, And now I'm actually hearing, it's actually sinking into my head what I'm hearing, and I start to get upset. I sit there and and all of a sudden, Dan Aykroyd looks over and he sees that I'm having a small meltdown. He says, Terri, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't own a television. And Dan said, oh, you think we're going to fire you. Now, this has happened to me a couple times in my life where people have said things like this to me, and that's the first thing that comes into my mind is that they're going to say, bye for now. And sure enough, Dan said, no. And he put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, no, we're not going to fire you. But we do have to fix this. You understand we have to fix this. And I'm kind of like, well, what does that mean? And Dan picked me up by one arm. Bill picked me up by the other. They carried me to a golf cart, threw me in the golf cart, took me to a screening room, and showed me 3 Saturday Night Lives. True story. So pretend you're me, okay? I want you to think about this. You're in a screening room, and on one side you've got Dan Aykroyd, and the other side you've got Bill Murray, and you're sitting there for the first time watching Saturday Night Live. What is going through your head? What was going through my head was, please, God, laugh. Please, God, be funny. Please be funny. Please be funny. Please laugh. And luckily, they showed me 3 really good Saturday Night Lives. Now, honestly, they probably are all good, but to this date, that's all I've seen. And they were Samurai Delicatessen, Wild and Crazy Kind of Guys. Actually 4, Cheeseburger, and Land Shark. Land Shark, I lost it. That was my favorite. But I, thankfully, laughed at all of them and could stay on Ghostbusters. So that was the big incident. I mean, imagine. And then they put me in the golf cart. We went back and all was cool. Okay. Sigourney Weaver is probably easily 6'2" in bare feet. So that was the big impression I had of her. was, holy cow, this woman is just so, she goes on for days and days. She's very tall, very beautiful, very exciting. And I just realized something else. 1 minute. Ah, I figured out the reason I'm a little warm, and probably the computer too. I had accidentally turned my fan off. Okay, back. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, yay. Okay. So then I see Sigourney Weaver, and she's lovely, and she's beautiful, and she's polite, and she's friendly, and she's wonderful. When we did the scene where my dog is in the doorway and she's in the chair, you remember the arms come out and they just rip through the chair. Well, all of the performers that were doing this, Steve Neal, etc., that were playing the arms, when they ripped out to grab her, they went like this because they didn't want to grab her inappropriately. So they were like, rawr, and Sigourney was like, guys, just grab me. I don't want to be here all day. And so that's when they just grab her. So, so that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. And then we shot around Christmas time. We actually went in, I think, in November, and then we were shooting through December. And Sigourney Weaver, who's originally, you know, she lives in New York, she got a package from her mom. And in it was this beautiful red and black checkered robe that went to the floor. Can you imagine? So she was walking around in this beautiful coat, I think it was. I don't think it was a robe. A coat that went to the floor that was red, that classic red and black check plaid. And she was carrying a box of cookies that her mother made. And she was explaining to all of us that her mom always bakes her cookies. And so she was going around the set saying, cookie? Cookie? Would you? Cookie? My mom made him. Cookie man. I mean, isn't that cute? Sweet. See, for me, when people talk about Ghostbusters, I like what happened off camera. On camera was really cool, but off camera was cool too. Just meeting people and icons, you know, icons that I had really, really wanted to know, but hadn't had the opportunity to know. And I'm not just talking actors, I'm talking builders that were just brilliant. Just so brilliant in what they did. There was a mold maker, he's passed now, and it's a heartbreaker, named Gunnar Ferdinandson, whose molds looked like art. You know, a lot of times when people make molds, and if you're someone who makes molds, it was like slapdash. You know, make sure there's some sort of key in there, make sure there's a release, and it's not supposed to be very beautiful. But Gunnar made his molds as beautiful as the pieces that came from them, and it was just. I used to watch Gunnar for ever and talk with him about his molds because they were so beautiful. And people like that, you know, just super across the board, super talented people that were amazing. So yes, so that was that. Sigourney was amazing. Rick Moranis was very kind but a little shy. One of my favorite people to pal around with was Ernie Hudson. He was so happy to be on Ghostbusters. There were a few challenges, but he was really happy, and he would have us for a barbecue like every other weekend or something cool like that. We'd go over and be with his family and have this amazing barbecue because he barbecues really well. And it was just, this is one of the reasons on my Terry's Tribe that I want to know more about you, because to look at Ernie Hudson, you don't just say, okay, he's a barbecue master, but we learn that. If you know who Richard Edlund is, he's also a brilliant cinematographer, and he loves chili. And so to be with someone like that, who we're having chili cook-offs because he loves chili, I mean, this is kind of the thing that you like when you meet people. What do they like? Mark Wilson, who played the Slimer in Ghostbusters 1, loves to sculpt dragons, and so do I. So we knew each other in Magic Mountain too. Mark Wilson and I, full disclosure. Bill Bryant is an amazing costumer, like he does costumes and sculptures using materials you wouldn't think of. He's so good at that, recycling materials and creating. In The Marshmallow Man, he's a brilliant foamsmith, and it was just fantastic to be around people like him, Steve Neal, an amazing model builder. You know, so it's not just uh, not just the actors and the directors. It's the people behind the scenes too. The odd thing was they have these people that stand in, so you can light. They stand in for the actors so that the actors can rest while lighting is happening. Well, the gaffers and everybody do the lighting and everything. And they were the snobs. Can you believe it? They were the snobs. They would like look at us as puppeteers or whatever and go, can't talk to them, which was really weird. That was really strange and weird. We didn't see an awful lot of Annie Potts because most of the in-office shots were done not at the studios in, at least the ones we were on. We weren't in any of the Annie Potts sequences, but, you know, she apparently was just a love also. Everybody was very cool. Ivan was a very good director. He was very calm, and he never screamed and yelled, so that the set was always a fun place to be. Yeah, I think that's everybody, right? Ernie was like, I still am friends with Ernie today, and I love it. I love when I see him on camera. I actually got to go see him. I was doing a show for PBS. I did several shows for PBS. Okay, I did Puzzle Place, where I played an artist, a little girl artist puppet. And then I did story time with Kino, who stars would come in and read stories to children, and we played the little puppet that was kind of the bridge between actor and child. And I was shooting story time when I heard that Ernie was going to appear on a show across the hall at the PBS station that I was shooting at. And I ran over to tell him how brilliant I thought he was in Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Because I really thought he should have had a Academy Award nomination for that. That character was so touching and so sweet. It's a great, if you haven't seen it, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, you should see it. It's a psychologically creepy movie. So if you're, I wouldn't jump in and have your kids watch it. I would watch it first. But wow. Ernie is just phenomenal in it. So if you haven't seen it, he's really good. I know I took a long time to answer that, but that was quite a question, Patrick. So I hope that helps. And if there's more you want to know, the first picture I showed you is actually for sale at my store. So if you want that autographed, you can have it. Absolutely. I do have photos there that I'm happily to autograph if you want that. So that's there too. Yes, indeed. Right? Is there anything else I wanted to tell you? No, I don't think so. Maybe. Okay, Jessica DeRose, who is so patient. Thank you for being patient, Jessica, because you asked your question last week in the comments, and I didn't see it until later, and so it's a big chunk of question. But Jessica asked, do you know if Disney is strict on their visible tattoo policy and for writers and other behind-the-scenes positions? Also, can you still be a puppeteer professionally with arm tattoos? Yes. And I don't have any, but I'd love to if I can still get a job someday. What is one of your favorite memories from working on the set of Dinosaurs? Oh, there's so many. But let's answer your other questions first, okay? So, if you want to work in Disneyland Park, no, tattoos are an absolute no-no. And I think that's still the case. If any of you are cast members on here, you can chime in. But I think that's absolutely the case. If you have them, you have to be able to cover them. That being said, if you haven't had tattoos but you want them, try to put them in places that stay covered. And the reason I say this is because I'm going to tell you some incidents where it became a challenge. So I had a friend in high school who shaved his head and did flame tattoo on his skull, okay? Well, he grew up, he grew hair over it, it was hidden, and then, like happens with many men in age, he started to go bald, and he was a Fortune 500, he worked in Fortune 500 like a broker or something, and he was terrified. He was absolutely terrified that as he lost his hair, this fire tattoo was going to be there. Another case is a woman who had tattoos pretty much all over her body, but wanted, when she got married, to wear a low scoop dress, but didn't want the tattoos to show. So bear in mind where you might want to show, when you want to show them, then you have, if you're going to wear strapless, then don't put it up here, if you like scoop necks, I wouldn't put it here. I would put them in places that are easily hidden if you need to. That way you can do it. I personally wouldn't wear a tattoo, but I'm speaking to you now. There are also people as puppeteers. I've got puppeteers who have, puppeteer doesn't matter as long as your arm doesn't come in the shot. It's very colorful, so but the idea is about the puppet, not your arm. So they don't really, I haven't really think that Jim or Brian, if you were talented, they were gonna not hire you because of a tattoo. I know with the Henson Company, there were people that had them. When I did the Flintstones, Rosie O'Donnell had a butterfly on her ankle. And because it was a family film, they made her cover that up on her ankle. And she played Betty with John Goodman and Elizabeth Perkins in the original Flintstone movie. They made her cover it up. So she was very surprised because it's just a butterfly. What's the big deal? But they went, no. So you just never know. If you put it someplace where you can't cover it up, it might off-put somebody. And they won't tell you that, but that's the case. Now, Imagineering and writing. Imagineers are the people under the stairs. I've said this before. We are the ones that look funky, dress funky, because we're creatives. And so just Google, I wish I had a picture of Joe Rohde, who has things, he has a beautiful mustache hair, so we're very flamboyant, all of us, all different, united colors, everything. And that's because we're Imagineers. So Imagineering, totally different. If you're going to be in Imagineering, and if you're going to write with Imagineering, and I would imagine as a writer, as long as a writer you're not writing something that's big where then you're going to be appearing, and Disney is trying to be family, But Disney in the past few years has gotten a lot more rough with their films, so that attitude could be different. You see what I'm saying? But if you're schlepping cement or you're designing attractions in the background and stuff like that, a lot of times they're fine. But what they did when we came to the park to tour the park to learn more about parks, they made us take our badges off because they did not want us associating with the Disney brand. When you're in Disneyland, the brand is, and that's the way they want it, So you have to kind of say to yourself, okay, what do I care? So that, I hope that helps you. Professional puppeteer, yes. Nowadays, professional puppetry is a little different, though, isn't it? There's a new show, I understand, with Elmo as an interviewer. It's a talk show that's doing really well. The reason I don't know much about it is because I think it's a Henson show, and they decide who they bring on and who they don't. And in my case, I might not have been a good fit in their opinion, so I was never asked to audition for it. And do I cry in my coffee? No, I'm actually working on my own show. So I'll write my own show. And this is what you could do, okay? You could actually, Jessica, think of a show. This works on several levels, okay? You can think of a show you want to do, create the show. Have you seen my little stop motions? Okay? They're very quick, but that's what I'm talking about. You just make it and you post it, okay? Disney's watching. So if you wanted to be a writer, you write the story, you produce the story, you animate the story if animation is your thing. You have somebody act it out if live action is your thing. You create stop motion, or you draw, or you puppets. You want to do puppets? Do a puppet show. So Jim Henson and I have mentioned it before. We're working on a show before he died. And I am revamping that. I'm rewriting it based on my stuff. So I'm doing my stuff. And I'm rewriting it, and I'll just probably pop it on the internet just for fun. It won't be happening anytime soon. I've got the ghosts. Did I say that? The hitchhiking ghost. But what I'm saying is, don't let someone else throw you a bone. This is a new era with the internet. In my day, you had to, please, sir, may I have a job? But you don't have to do that anymore. If you actually start to post some of your creative stuff, Disney's watching and they'll reach out to you and say, come work for us. There's a very good chance they'll do that. I've seen it happen with several artists that they get invited to do it. My friend Joel Christopher Payne, he was working for one division, and his artwork was getting bought and purchased because of the style of it. And so other divisions of Disney that are more direct contacted him, and then other people did too. So he posts his work. Sometimes he's allowed to share it with you or sell it to you or whatever. I don't know the restrictions, because there are when you're under an employee act. But his work is seen. What I'm saying is you get to see some of his concept art, and others do too, and they reach out to him and say, hey, what you doing for us or whatever. So that's the kind of thing that you do, basically. There was a woman who did a comic strip for Facebook where it was the princesses after hours, and they were all like, laying back, having a glass of wine. It was a cute little comic strip. I think she did it for about 3 years, and at the time I met her, which was a couple years ago, she was doing Disney comics for Disney. They picked her up, hired her, made her stop the Facebook one, but that was her dream, was to work for Disney, and now she's doing that. So you see what I mean? Don't wait. Pretend you're whoever you are, a writer for Disney, an Imagineer for Disney. You are that person, and then give yourself an assignment. So, for example, on Terri's Tribe, we haven't been doing it lately, but some of the ideas that came out were really great. We said, what if somebody came to you and said, we need to redesign Splash Mountain because it's getting kind of dusty and old, and people just are getting tired of the theme. Now, we're not saying they did, but rather than make it about what it was about, I wanted it to be more upbeat, because this happens with Imagineers. The Swiss Family Robinson treehouse turned into the Charzan treehouse, so Imagineers had to envision taking away the Swiss Family Robinsons and putting in Tarzan while keeping the tree. So that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of assignments that as Imagineers get is let's revamp this ride a little bit, or let's fix that up, or we want to change this. We want to erase Aladdin's show, which used to be the Tahitian Terrace, and now what can we put there? And it became that whip station, not whoosh, but station. So Imagineers are given these assignments, so give yourself one, and then do it, and then post your dream. I dream of being a writer for Disney. I dream of being an Imagineer for Disney. Here's some examples of my work. The nice thing about the internet is it's dated, and they'll come and talk to you. Yeah? So I hope that helps. Let's see what else. You can. But let's put you at the helm. Let's let you drive the boat by doing this yourself, and then they come to you, and the only thing you have to worry about is how much are you going to charge to work for them. Okay? Yeah. Exactly. Okay? It happens. Absolutely happens. Okay. Terri Hardin versus Terri Hardin Jackson. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, before I was married, I became well known as an artist. I was hired, and I became very well known as an artist, and I was known as Terri Hardin. So when we got married, my pictures are getting cranky. There we go. So I'm going to take you to my board again, and I'm going to put it on 2 so I can point it out to you. Look, my questions. Okay, so let's go back to my vision board, which is here. Okay, so on my vision board, this right here is my father. Okay, you see my dad? First of all, you're going to notice that I'm mixed, because he's a lot too more tan than I am, and look at how white that kid is. White chick. So I'm mixed races. My mother's white and my dad is black, and my dad is my biggest fan. Him and Guillermo del Toro, but he is my biggest fan. So I always want people not to have to worry When he talks about his daughter, I want them to know right away. Terri Hardin is his daughter. Richard Hardin's daughter, Dick Hardin's daughter is Terri Hardin. You see? So as an artist, I'm always known as Terri Hardin. Here is my father's family. This is my grandfather right here. This is my grandmother who I never met. And this is John. John, white skin, blue eyes, left the family by telling them he was adopted by a black family and broke my grandfather's heart. So, and here I am as a little girl, pumpkins in my life early, okay? But you see, my hair is already causing problems for my mother. And this is the black side of my family showing my mother how to style that hair, that unruly hair. So in the vision board, it's about remembering my family. In the vision board, it's about knowing there's always a new horizon. I want to speak to millions of people. I want to learn new things. I want to help people until I'm ancient, and hopefully I'll have that incredible hair she has. Okay? I want to do a TED Talk. I think I would be great at it. I want abundance so I can share it with others. And I must always remember, I'm not a goose. A goose has to fly south for the winter. You are a human being. You are valuable. You are special. If your day sucks today, you can wake up tomorrow and your day will not suck. You can just make the decision. Okay? So, Hardin was very important to me. There's a little movie I did called The Country Bears where I played Trixie and Big Al. I mentioned it, I think, last week. But if I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. And I took my father to see it at a multiplex theater. You know, those theaters with lots of theaters inside. When they were open. And I had my mother with me and I had my father with me. I wish I had another picture of my mother. Maybe if you ask me next time, I'll have one. I'll have them of her young. I don't necessarily have a lot older because she doesn't like to take pictures. I have to sneak them because she's funny. She's funny about that. But anyway, we got the popcorn, we got the drinks, and I sat down with my mother and my dad disappears. He says, I'll be right back. And he disappears. Well, you know, the clock's ticking, the movie's about to start, and I can't find my dad anywhere. You know, I'm like, what's going on? Where's my dad? You know, I want my dad to see this, you know, because in the Country Bears, you do have to wait a little bit, but my name is in the title, big and cool, and I want my dad to be able to read his daughter's name there, you know? And so I'm wondering where he is, and about 3 minutes before the previews start, my dad jumps into the seat and says, oh, I saw your name in the credits 3 times. So he had gone from multiplex theater to multiplex theater where they were showing the end of the Country Bears and watched my credit 3 times. That's a big fan. As far as the Foster Farms chickens, he has a t-shirt, he has a hat, and they give him a chicken and send him a turkey every year. He is my biggest fan. And so as a result, you know, I want Hardin to be that label that he knows about. And my husband's super cool about it because my husband is a behind the scenes kind of a guy. He wants to be behind the scenes. But by the same token, he said to me when we were going to get married that I did not have to change my name. Okay? And I worked very, very hard to land this fella, to get this guy. I worked hard. It was not an easy experience. It was not an easy journey to get him. He got married, broke my heart, and was away for 15 years before he came back and found me. We started dating for 10 years, and then we got married. And we've been married for 15. That's how long we've known each other. So I wanted Jackson. But at the time Terri got married, she had to go to court to be able to be Terri Hardin Jackson. I could not hyphenate because of the Patriot Act. So I paid $300 to go to court. My name had to be in the newspaper. I changed my middle name to Hardin. And I had to fight for it. And my husband kept saying, you don't have to fight for it. It's not necessary. But it was. I had worked too hard to land this guy. So in my personal circles, I'm a Jackson. I'm his wife. And in public circles, I'm Hardin. So that's how, and thank you for asking that question, because I love celebrating that particular fact. You know, that's really special to me, that I'm able to have that name. And the judge, it was really funny when I went before the judge for my name change. So it's in the paper, you've paid your money, now you step before a judge, and he sort of goes, bing, you are now Terri Hardin Jackson. There was a line, a row of us, and the judge said, I'll bet you all are trying to get rid of the name. And I said, not me. And he said, okay, you can go first. And he smiled, and he said, Terri, you are now officially Terri Hardin Jackson. So that's how it happened. And I was super, super excited about it. One thing I want to talk to you guys about before I forget, I've decided to do this year, as you know, we're coming up on October, and I decided to do virtual pumpkin sculpting classes. And I'm going to charge $20. You can meet me on Zoom. And what I need from you, I asked my tribe today the same thing. Do you want it to be the last week before Halloween, where I do 2 or 3 classes during the week, and then the finale on Saturday, meaning that you can sign up Saturday, which is Halloween. It won't be in the evening on Halloween, because we're all hoping some sort of Halloween will take place. But during the week, I can do them too. So Friday, Thursday, maybe Wednesday through Thursday, I'll have a class each day. And for $20, you would get your pumpkin. Not for me, but you'd have to get a pumpkin. And then I will show you the tools you need, and the video you can buy if you want to study early. I did a video that shows you. And then we can create some pumpkins. So I will show you some pumpkins that I've done. So you get to learn how to sculpt. This is a 650 pounder. So if you can find one and you really want to work on it, you can. But I'd go much smaller, actually. This is one, I think I showed you these guys before, but just so you remember, this is the kind of thing that, and when they're lit, don't they look beautiful? So basically, oh, that's me speaking. Here they are, just different kind of pumpkin images that I can teach you how to do, okay? So there it is unlit, there it is lit. Isn't it pretty? That's a dragon egg one I did. Pumpkin shape was really cool on that one. Okay, so yeah, here I am having a coffee again. But so, yeah, so if you're interested in possibly doing a virtual pumpkin sculpting class with me, then let me know and we can do it, and let me know what days will work, because October 1st, I'm going to work hard to announce how to do it. And if you don't think you can do it, let me show you some people from my class, and then I'll show you a weird pumpkin that I have, okay? Okay, so here is Cameron Marsh. Cameron Marsh. Here, Cameron Marsh is in his 20s. He sculpted with me when he was 9, and he's never missed a class. And he's become a really amazing sculptor doing his tikis. But you can sculpt anything. I'll walk you through. I recommend a face, but I'll walk you through. Here's my live classes, which I can't do this year because of COVID-19. But these are first timers. All these people are first timers. This is his first time doing this pumpkin, and look what he did. Now, unfortunately, we're at a pumpkin patch, so we can't show them lit, but he was very happy, and he's a Ghostbusters fan, so you know I loved him. This kid, very quiet, loved Astro Boy, so also really weaseled his way into my heart. He's a real sweetheart. And he was his confidence wasn't there. But then he did this nice Spider-Man, and when it was lit, it was cool. He sent me a picture. Fortunately, I don't think I have it. And then this is an assembled pumpkin. This is actually Cheshire Cat, where I've put together several pumpkins. I was challenged by Joe Yakovetic to do it, and there they are. But you can be weird too. So here's a pumpkin I just got weird. People didn't think to walk up to my door, so I sculpted this pumpkin to direct people to the door. And I had one on each side of my fence. I may have to do more. This is actually, if you see, if I go to 2, if you see right along here, this is actually a squash. This is a butternut squash. And I just carved it, the whole hand out of that. There's no void up in the neck of these, so you can just sculpt them the way you want. And this pumpkin is about that big. It's only that big. So so there you have it, right? So so I hope you'll join me. Don't be afraid. I've gotcha. You can do this. First timers do very well. And if you go to my events page, let me pop that up again right here. You will see below it. I know my web designer is working on the pumpkin classes. So you'll be able to go to the website. You'll be able to sign up. And you'll be able to see some of people. In fact, it's someone you may recognize. Did her first pumpkin of a toothy pumpkin. Because I told people sculpting teeth in a pumpkin is really fun. So I highly recommend it. But there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do. And this website right here will take you straight there. And then go to terrihardin.com if you would like to just sign up and find out what I am up to. Of course, if you watch these, you see that as well, don't you? Don't you? Okay, so there's the commercial. Let's see. So there it is. So what name do I use on my driver's license? I use Terri Hardin Jackson. I use the full name, okay? But when I sign contracts and stuff, it's Terri Hardin. So everybody is kind of understanding. It's like it's exactly like an actor who goes by a different name, except for mine are very close. So note to you, if you're an artist, don't sign your art like you sign your checks, okay? Don't do that. So make sure the autograph that you're putting on your pictures and stuff is very different from the way you autograph your checks, okay, or your driver's license, etc. Could be a challenge, right? Right. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. What was the best day you had as a child? Oof. Best day I had as a child. Well, first of all, you got to define child, because I'm still a child. And every day is a good day. Even when the bad days, it's just great to be alive, right? But you didn't want that answer. As a little kid, one of the best days, well, okay. We'll do best day at age... When I was a little kid, best day as a little kid was when my mother gave me paper to draw, or my rocking horse. I have a rocking horse I rode into the ground. They're those kind of rocking horses that you went back and forth like this. And my parents found that I would stay in one place if they had that rocking horse, and the company said, indestructible. And I went through 4. So that's one thing that was a really great day. Christmas was always great because I believe in Santa Claus even today. And when I was a little kid, I would wake up with my sister, and I would wake up with my little sister, and we would get up really early, and we would see. I'm gonna go to albums so I can show you. As a little kid, there I am with my dog. As a little kid, I woke up, getting Patches was a good day. That's my dog Patches. But I woke up and I found sooty footprints on the floor going from our chimney to the tree where the presents were left to the cookies, which were gone, to the chimney. And so that was super cool. We were always trying to catch Santa, but we could never catch him. And my mother would go, that's Santa. He's not very tidy, So I had really great parents as a little kid. That was a really cool day. Also, I met Sherry Lewis when I was little, so that was pretty cool. And then when I was 14, I made 128 gingerbread houses including custom boxes for my friends. When I was 8, I made these and my mother sold them. So these are Easter eggs that at 8 years old I drew pictures on, and my mother took them to her work and sold them for 20 bucks a piece. Imagine an 8-year-old who sold 4 dozen at these hand-drawn eggs at 20 bucks a piece. Yeah. So, what is an Imagineer? Okay? What is an Imagineer? If you look deep in the dark recesses of an Imagineer, you'll find out they did something weird and strange and unusual and not so normal. Very few 8-year-olds are making money doing things like that, and I didn't know the difference. Bob Gurr tells the story of how he took radios and televisions and things like that apart and put them back together, and they functioned perfectly. So what happens is this: if you talk to Imagineers and you go, what did you do as a child? And they start to tell you, it's very savant-like, I guess. Or, you just are this person who had this ability that you thought everybody had, only to discover that they perhaps didn't, or didn't have the wherewithal to move forward on it. So that was a favorite day. 16 years old, my favorite day was, and it was my favorite age, because my dad took me and 7 of my friends to Disneyland for the day for my birthday. And then John Denver and I met, and he put me in the 3rd row. I was crazy about John Denver as a kid. And I had missed out on the ticket sales. I had waited in line for a very long time to get a John Denver ticket at the Universal Amphitheater, which is not there anymore. And I stood in line, and as I went up, it was that classic. When you go up, the door comes down and it says sold out, and I came home and I was in tears, and I said, but I'm okay. I can watch it on, I can listen and imagine. And my dad worked for a radio station, KMPC radio station. KMPC radio station. Let me say that a little clearer. And John Denver walked on to the lot, and my dad called me up and said, well, first he approached John Denver and he said, do you got a minute? And John Denver said, excuse me? And my father said, my daughter is crazy about you, and she just finished standing in line for your concert, and she couldn't get in, and she's heartbroken, and if I can call her to come down, and I would love for her to meet you. So my dad called me up and he said, Terry, you need to get down to the station right away. I was only about 10, 15 minutes away by car. And I had a car. I didn't have my car, but I had access to a car. So I came down, and my dad wouldn't tell me what it was about. And I walked in, and my dad says, I have a surprise for you. And he stepped aside, and there was John Denver. And I just was like, and you know how you get speechless when you see somebody you really love. I just adored John Denver. And he walked up and he said, I understand that you didn't get to, you can't see my concert. And I said, oh, I tried. I really tried. And he handed me 2 tickets, front row center, not front row center, 3rd row center. And he said, here you go, happy birthday. And I'll never forget it. And he asked me what my favorite song was. And I said, it has to be Grandma's Feather Bed. It'll hold 8 kids, 3 hound dogs, and a chicken we had from the shed. Because going to see my grandfather, my whole family had to sleep in a feather bed. And it was my dad, my mom, my sister, and me. And my sister somehow was able to turn around that by morning her toes were sticking up my nose. So Grandma's Feather Bed has significance to me. And this is what I said to John Denver. And he laughed. And he said, okay. He said, same with me. It's a memory. And so when I went to the concert, he looked down at me and my friend, and he said, this next song is for Terri Hardin. And it's Grandma's Feather Bed. And I burst into tears. So that was a huge day for this kid. Huge. The other day, the other thing that was monumental for me, and I can't even remember how old I was again happened with my father at the radio station, and my dad called me down, and I met Mel Blanc, and Mel Blanc coached me with voices. So imagine getting it from the master, who did all of the characters you can possibly imagine. Mel Blanc, yeah, and he recorded several of his voices and me doing my voices, and he showed me some techniques that I still use today when I do voiceover. So yeah, that was a whew. And this is the kind of thing that when you're a performer and you meet these people, it's true. They put their pants on one leg at a time, but if you can keep your composure, you can ask them questions and you can make them feel better because of how much you admire them, but you can also ask them questions about their life and career and have the balance to not just say, could you do, could you do, could you do, could you give me, give me, give me, give me. You want to be more like a waiter, as James Malinchak, who is a speaker coach, says, and say, what can I do for you first? That's what James always says, James Malinchak. And what can you do? What can you do for them first before you start saying, gimme, gimme, what can they do for you? But what can you do for them? And one of the things is just tell them how much certain things mean to you. And that's been my whole life. Sometimes I look back at my life and I go, really, wow, who is that girl? You know, because I've come across, when I was running to the 50th anniversary of Disneyland, I was supposed to do an appearance at Club 33 and I was late. Go figure. And I was running Full Tilt Boogie and I decided to take a shortcut when you could take a shortcut through California Adventure Hotel, the Grand Californian. And I took a shortcut and ran, seriously, smack dab into Julie Andrews. Woof! We're sitting like this. You're Julie Andrews. Are you Terri Hardin? What? And she had just come from an event where Bob Gurr had taken my Stitch puppet that he's so fond of, that he wanted in an auction. I had built it and performed it for them. So he had thanked me and said it was this girl with... And so she recognized me, and we were sitting on the floor and then being helped up. It was a moment. No pictures were taken, but trust me, it was definitely a moment. It was a rich moment. And so I have tons of those, tons of moments where I have gotten to sit and talk with people and learn about their philosophies when it comes to being an actor, when it comes to be a performer. This is where I learned from many, fame is not fun. It may be fun for a little bit, but it's not that fun. And so, you know, you love the work, but the fame is the bitter that comes with the sweet. So that's kind of what they were sharing, and I was going to see if I could show you. Again, I'm not sure if I can find it because I'm not a real good digger. It would be nice to say, you know, I could have looked at the questions last night, but I kind of like to be surprised because when Leo shows me the questions, it's just cool to be surprised. So I'm just going to look through here and see if I have this one picture, but I kind of doubt that I do. I don't think I have it in here. But if I do, I'd love to show it to you if I have it. And then maybe next time we can talk about the trials and tribulations of, I'll show you what my husband looks like. There he is. We're on our way to Norway here. He's absolutely amazing. He's amazing. He's just so lucky to have true love. If you find true love, jump at it, guys. It's very rare. You can't have it all the time. It's amazing. So yeah, it's a blessing. So yes, indeed. So let me see if I can find the picture that I'm thinking of. But if not, we'll just say never mind. But I was hoping I could show you another thing that When you tell people, you mention to people your dreams and goals, sometimes they can help you achieve them, which was one of the things that I wanted to show you, but I just don't know if it's here. So I'll have to just kind of tell you if it's not there and then show you another time, because I don't see it. Meeting Tony Baxter was pretty cool too. Once I knew who he was, once you know who Tony Baxter is, you're like, wow. We used to go to lunch all the time, but now with COVID and he's very busy, Well, it's not like I'm not. But. So, okay, people want to know more about the talk you had with George Lucas and some of the celebrity visitors on Captain EO set. Did you fangirl George? No. Here's the question. Did you fangirl George, or was it a true conversation? Yeah. You need to understand with George Lucas what happened with George Lucas and Terri Hardin. How about starting out with that for a question? The reason you do is because I was in skywalking. I wonder if I have a picture of that. I don't know that I do. I'll look. But I was in Skywalking, which is George Lucas's biography or autobiography. Which one is the one someone else writes? Anyway, I know you'll tell me. Anyway, in there, I'm on page 3 for seeing Star Wars 181 times. If this is a shock to you, I will say it again, 181 times. When there were no DVDs, no VHS, no streaming, no cell phones, no internet, nada. The way we learned about stuff was we listened to the news on TV and we read the newspaper. Okay? Otherwise, we didn't have news. Our phones could be a great murder weapon. Now, if you tried to hit somebody on the head with your cell phone, it would break before the skull did. But that's the truth about that. And now I've completely forgot what I was looking for. But, oh yes, I was looking for the book, if I can find it. Oh, and here's the picture. So this was a red letter day for me. Thank you, Todd Regan, okay? Dusty Sage of Mice Chat. How about that picture? This was huge. Okay, luckily I wasn't sitting on the floor opposite him. This was huge. And what's really nice about this picture, guys, he was excited to meet me as much as I was excited to meet him. And that just sends you over the moon. I'm gonna tell you, that was huge. In fact, Dick Van Dyke, when we were taking pictures, says, I gotta know what camera to look towards. So me and my big voice would say, okay, we're gonna look over here. Is that okay with you, Dick? And he would say, yes. And then I said, now we're gonna look over here. Now we're gonna look over here. Because he always wanted to make sure this was good for people's pictures. What amazing love. Enough worth repeating to see him again. A darling. And this is at the Mice Chat event. And it was just so worth it to get to meet him. And yeah, huge. Mary Poppins, one of my favorite. The old one, not the new one. But let me see if I can find that book. That book. But anyway, George Lucas, they put me on page 3 of George Lucas's book, Skywalking. You can Google Skywalking. If you get a copy of it, you open it to page 3, and it says, Terri Hardin saw Star Wars 181 times. And then you can go to the glossary, and it says Terri Hardin, page 3. Isn't that cool? At the time, I was, 18, 19 years old? Yeah, pretty awesome. And he got nervous. He really got nervous. He got scared. He thought, oh, hell, this girl is a whack-doodle. Okay, who sees a movie 181 times and they're not nuts? But it changed my life. I think I've mentioned to you, Star Wars made me realize
my hobby could be a career. I always believed it could be a career. Now Star Wars showed me it could be a career. So I was so grateful to George Lucas. So now, full circle, I'm doing Captain EO, and he's sitting on the steps, but he's not made the connection that the girl who's performing Idie and Odie behind the band and making them all dance was me. So during a break, I walked up to him and I said, Mr. Lucas, you know me. And he said, do I? And I said, yeah, I'm on page 3 of your book, Skywalking. And he went, really? And I said, I'm Terri Hardin. And I just waited. And he went, and I said, don't be afraid. I said, the reason I saw it so many times was that I was writing down every name in the credits so that I could reach out and find out how to do this. And thanks to you, those doors opened because of your work. And after that, he was, wow, what? So I explained to him that I did sketches while watching this movie, and I also wrote down by hand every name in the credits. And then I looked for those names in the newspaper. So when I'm explaining to you, I explained to George. I looked for the names in the newspaper so that I could go to those people. One of those people was Rick Baker, who did the cantina scene and has multitudes of Academy Awards for his work and is now someone I can call a friend. I saw him speak, and I got in my car and I drove down and I waited till the end, and then I approached Rick Baker and said, how do I do what you do? And I did this with every time I'd look in the paper, I'd see somebody talking about Star Wars, and I'd go and I would talk to everybody and I would say, how do I get to do what you do? How do I get to do what you do? Billy D. Williams and I had a debate because I thought he was a dirty bird turning in Han Solo. And he said he was afraid of Darth Vader and anyone would have turned him in. And I said, no, I don't think so. I think, it was very nice that Han forgave you, because I would be like Chewie. I would want to rip your head off. But he was like, no, that's not true. I'm a good guy. So it was kind of fun to have that debate with Billy D. Williams, who also is a very well-known painter. So for his paintings. So it was kind of cool. Again, what do you know about Billy D. Williams? Painting. You learn the backgrounds, and that's why I love things, learning about people. But George Lucas, absolutely. At the time, he was dating Linda Ronstadt, and so I saw her a couple of times on set. But namely, I sat with George Lucas that one time, and we talked about Star Wars. And I said, and I told him why I was so grateful to him. Number one, he never gave up. Studio to studio to studio. Hearing about what he had to go through to get Star Wars made has created my foundation, if you will, for never giving up. George Lucas. Yeah. To this day. Okay. I'm not really thrilled with the first 3 films. The prequels, don't like them at all. But then again, I know that George Lucas really wasn't interested in making them, but he had to. So, but I really didn't like those films. And had we talked then, I would have said, what were you thinking? But honestly, just really love the fact that he just does. He gets up and he does stuff. And then he did this great, built ILM, and it became a place, ILM became a place for artists to come together and work. Now, it wasn't ideal, but honestly, guys, any corporation or studio is not ideal. So it's not going to be everything is awesome, so you take your bitter with your sweet. But honestly, if you go in with a good attitude and you don't let that weigh you down, it can be a lot of fun to work. I loved when I worked at Disney indoors. I love it better now that I'm the come here, get away Imagineer, because I can keep my company. But honestly, Disney is a wonderful place to work. You just have to understand some of their rules and some of their regulations you might not agree with. They might be very confining and they might not be very liberating, but you make your choice. They have a lot of perks. It's great to be a Disney artist. Same with being with a company like ILM or Lucasfilm. This is, can you imagine being someone like George Lucas who could actually make an amazing movie and then create a place where artists can go and do their stuff. That's awesome. And that's what I told him. So I shared my heart. I shared my genuine heart back in 1985 when we shot that. And Michael Jackson was 1 year younger than me, or something like that, something crazy like that. We were super young, and it was wonderful. It was just wonderful. Working on Captain EO was a joy because I got to meet my other hero, Francis Ford Coppola, and that was lovely. I got to sit with Michael Jackson and talk with Michael Jackson, and I heard someone scream and yell about the accusations that were made toward Michael, and you need to listen to what happened after Michael died when those kids came out and said they were lying. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's very hard on you if someone points a finger at you and you cannot defend yourself. There's no way to defend it. And, because who documents stuff like that, So be careful. Guys, be careful. Girls, be careful. In today's world, if someone decides to point a finger at you, you got to be able to say, no, it wasn't me. That's not me, So, yeah. But anyway, that's my George Lucas story. I adore George Lucas. I'm grateful to George Lucas for keeping me, for being my savior from love stories. If I had to look at another The Way We Were, another love story, I like love stories, but they were just too much at the time Star Wars came out. They were just nothing but that. The only way a science fiction or fantasy person got any kind of relief was watching Space 1999, old Star Trek, or 2001, which you had to fight to stay awake, even though it's a beautiful film. You were, because that's lovely music, just perfect to listen to, So basically, Star Wars changed the way people thought about movies. The reason we have all the movies that we have today, Game of Thrones, thank you, Star Wars. All the Marvel movies, thank you, Star Wars. Yes, there were comic books, but everybody believed they would not make good movies. And then Star Wars came out, and people are like, well, hey, maybe there are people that like that. And boom, fashion changed, advertising changed, everything happened. And it was because of a man named George Lucas didn't give up. So no matter what you're feeling or what you're thinking, I'm really, I am the Star Wars gal, okay? I stood in line for 3 days to see Empire Strikes Back. Okay, I did. Well, there was no internet. I couldn't go online and buy a ticket. I had to stand in line at the theater, and I wanted the first ticket because I deserved the first ticket, okay? So I stood in line for 3 days. That's another story. All right? Okay. It is 10:56. We are going to there's a Food Network question here. I won't answer it now. Watch Sunday and you'll find out. You want to know how many teams are competing? You'll find out. Do you want to know, are there teams competing? You'll find out. Actually, you can go to the Food Network and meet the contestants, and then you'll know that answer to that one, okay? So foodnetwork.com, they'll tell you about that one. And let me quickly say, that's all I can tell you right now. I am going to tell you, you'll love it because it's true to form. It's nothing secret. Everything is out there, okay? There are no secrets in Outrageous Pumpkins. It's pumpkins being sculpted before your very eyes. There is no elves coming in at night or anything like that. It is all of them. And that's why I love this show, because it's fantastic. So, so there you go. That's the last one. And today I'm going to say that let's go through your comments. I know I can't go through them quickly, but I know how much you guys love this, so let's do this for you guys, because why not? Let's just go through here and grab some happy comments. So here we have one that says, love the energy. Yeah, I kind of have on and off. You know, there's really no middle. Hi, John. Angie writes, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us. Love these streams. Makes me feel not as lonely working from home each day. And you've got it, Angie. You absolutely have said some of the nicest things to me, and you all have become true friends for me. My husband says, you talked for 3 hours, and I said, and I have talked for 8. Be kind of interesting to do one of those marathon things where I tell you stories. You kind of put your bunny slippers on, and we start early in the morning, and we go into the evening after the ghosts. uh, Watch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nate. Yes. Mulan. Yes. Yes. You are right. Free. Oh, well, if you're on Disney Plus, you get to watch it in December. Yes, you do. And it's not that far away, is it? Because look, October's coming. It came really fast in spite of COVID. Add a store link in the show notes or online. Pretty please. Yes, I can do that. I will do that. Yes, the Librarian Ghost. I'm on Team Librarian Ghost. Yeah. I'm kind of like Fingers or Arm or something with, that was kind of a last minute thing, but it was a lot of fun. You're just working with people that, when you do these puppets, you're not the whole puppet. You are a team of people. And what a professional is being able to know when and not when to move the head or wiggle the feet or whatever, right? That is a pro. You are a constant team. So that's the cool thing about that. Okay, let's see what I said. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Holiday time. You saw Jessica sculpt in there. Yes, you did. And that's all I'm going to say. Yes, that is, it is. And she is, Nate knows about her because Nate's having me work on a Jessica for him. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Because I want Nate to see it first. After the ghosts. Yes, the one with, well, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, if you're going to do it, yeah. But could you imagine if I didn't laugh? That would have been terrible. So I didn't want that to happen. Hi, Grace. And Gilda, and yeah, it was a great show. I went back and saw a little bit more. Hi, Michael. I love when you guys come. Ernie is amazing. Ernie is amazing. One of the things he did point out to me, though, was that it was kind of funny for him to sit at the signings when the Black Ghoster wasn't on any of the Black Ghostbuster wasn't on any of the posters. So some of the things that these people are saying are true. You wonder why they left the black guy off, because just as important as the other 3, and the actors had nothing to do with that. Okay, that really, the director had nothing to do with that. That's publicity. And the director's directing the film. So, but you wonder, why'd you leave that Ghostbuster off? So anyway. And Adoring Annie Potts, yes. Bear in the Blue House, I did not work on it, but that's Noel McNeil as the bear. And I worked with Noel on The Puzzle Place. So he played a cute little character named Leon. And Noel is a talent, obviously. You saw Bear. So, he's a talent and a sweet fella at that. So, awesome. On my legs and one on the back shoulder. Yes. So, Deanna, if you are going to expose that shoulder and you don't want to show that tattoo, that becomes a challenge. But at least you didn't do it on your skull and you're losing your head. And now what are you going to do? Because you are in a position where if that shows, you are in danger. So that's why I told that story. Yeah. Jessica tattoos, says Nate. Well, that's not really a shocker. I'm sorry, Nate, but it's not. I think if you had one that said mother, that would be the shocker. Thank you, Janny. And Janny, did you hear I would love to get a testimonial from you? I'm asking the people on my Patreon page to tell me how I've helped them and how they've helped each other on the page, because I think you guys reading that is a little more entertaining than all about my history. So please do that. I really think people will benefit from that. Bella, I'm still hoping I get to come and see you and your family, Bella, and we'll go over and see Doc Martin Land because I'd like to see that too. But that's not the reason I'm coming. I'm coming to see you because I'd love to see you. Do what you love. You will never work again. It should say, Mike Clark, do what you love and you'll never rest again. I think that's the biggest challenge of doing what you love is you don't want to stop and you won't rest. And I see you have a Cheshire Cat on your picture. You want to talk to me? The next one I'm going to do is a Cheshire Cat, and I'm curious as to what you want to see with the Cheshire Cat. Should his head come off? And so you can make it upside down. What fun thing would you like to see? Not saying I'm going to do it, but I saw that you had that, though. Your dad's name was Richard, yeah. Dick, which, can you imagine anybody naming their child Dick Hardin? That's all I'm going to say about that one. Moving on. I never even considered posting my work. I see other people doing it, but never thought of it myself. I guess you need to consider myself as an artist. Yes, you do. Jessica, yes, you do. It's not imposter syndrome. We all go through it, okay? You just have to put that voice that everyone has that says, okay, so when I speak, it's like $5,000 for me to speak at a college and university. And when they pay that and you step on the stage, there's a voice that says, are you really worth it? Do you know what I mean? So, and I said, shut up. And then I just go out and speak. So as an artist, yes, a lot of people post their art, but then like lemmings, we just like it. Okay. So yes, you should give it a go because we just like. And what you want to do is not only post your art, Jessica, but your dream. Here's some art. I'm working on a blank because I'd like to blank. Okay. Now, if you're a voiceover artist and you want to do voiceovers, I wouldn't recommend that because voiceover artists, other voiceover people can duplicate your voice. So that's going to be a little different, but you might do an animated thing. If you're someone who wants to do voiceovers, do a little animated segment and do the voice. I was lucky enough. Thank you to Kimberly Dominguez. I went and met a person that my husband and I are big fans of, Doc Kane. And Doc Kane is the sound guru. Oh my gosh. Just look at the credits. His name is on everything. And we got to meet him, and it turned out he and I had worked on multitude of film together. So then you have to be careful not to monopolize the conversation when you're in a group because he's so excited to meet you because he's read about your work and you've read about his and you both worked on the same thing and blah, 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 and the other people disappear and then they get mad. So don't do that. But there was a video I shared, and I will find it and then post it again, where myself, Lindsay, and a young lady that was with us who joined us on this tour got to do do voices. He put up a cut from Inside Out, and we got to do the voices for the characters, and then we got to take that with us. So it was so cool. I've done lots of voices. I was the voice of San Diego for 3 years. Must see San Diego. Come alive and see what you're missing at San Diego. And that was my voice, which most of the time I was doing animated voices. But the point is that you just get it out there, like you're saying, Jessica. Absolutely. Yeah, my dad is a rock star. You know, the other thing my dad used to do, Nate, was they would rain and we would see a rainbow and my dad would go, come on, kids, we got to find that pot of gold. And we would jump in the car. We were sitting in the back of the car and he would go, where to now? And we go, that way, Daddy, that way. And he'd turn the car and we'd drive. Couldn't find it. Where now? That way, Daddy, that way. So yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My parents were and are amazing. It's nice to have amazing parents that believe in you. I know you both. I am Groot. Thank you, Daniel. Oh, really? Well, I'll check Sprouts. I don't usually go to a market, but Sprouts is very organic. So I will go over there and check them out. I'll see if I can talk to someone, social distancing, of course, as to what type of pumpkins they have, if I can't tell by looking at them. And if that's the case, because like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but if you find a pumpkin that's about this big and the stem is about that big, a huge stem on a little pumpkin, the pumpkin can be maybe this long, but then the stem is like a tree trunk on top, that's a wolf. And a lot of times they have a 1.5 inch to a 2 inch wall. You're safe if you grab yourself a wolf, which is why I'm saying if you go to a I want to say a pumpkin patch, but I meant a farmer's market or a vegetable stand or whatever, nursery or whatever, and they have pumpkins, they're going to be usually able to tell you what variety they have. Okay? So there's that. Once you practice this and you get used to how you work with the depth, you can do ones like the pie pumpkins, the little pie pumpkins. You can actually sculpt them too. But I don't want you to start with that because I want you to be successful. You don't get a present. I know there's some people who don't believe in Santa, and I think they just, what? Really? Come on. Why is it so important not to believe in Santa? What did he ever do to you that you don't believe in him? That's all I'm going to say about that. True love. You also have to protect it, always cultivate, treasure it, never lose it. You may never be able to get it back. Well, finding it is rare. And I'll tell you the story about what happened at my wedding. I told the minister he was in the presence of true love and to watch out because it's so powerful. He could easily be affected while joining us up in the Calistoga Valley. And he said no. And then magic happened. That's for another time. You have a great life so far. Everyone has a great life. You just have to look at it and go, what in my life is great? For one thing, you're a human being, and today is not good. You just change it. Do it something different tomorrow. Really. It's that easy. You may not believe it's that easy. It is that easy. Sometimes you're not going to feel like doing it. You're in the dumps. You feel bad. And that's when I recommend you find somebody that needs your help and you help them. Whether it's a phone call to a friend you haven't talked to in a long time, whether it's an uplisting, a card, a video, a gift, whatever you can do for someone. I used to put money in the parking meters when they took coins. And, I'd see somebody's parking meter that was low, and I'd put money in it so they wouldn't get a ticket. And that makes you feel good, too. Police would say you're not really supposed to do that, but I would do it anyway. So I think it would be funny if you were arrested for putting money in someone else's meter so they don't get a ticket. I think that would be a really interesting, judge, I dispute this because I just saw that was low. There were no one around. I had some change. Boom. I feel I deserve to do that. Okay. Oh, who do we have here? Well, hello there. I'm not quite sure how you say, is it Vitzal? Wow, Dama? Oh my gosh. Hi. How nice of you to join me via YouTube. What is my channel all about? This crazy girl called Terri Hardin and her adventures in life. And then if you look at some of my YouTube stuff, it's because it's places I've been, things I've gone. Be sure to look through the playlist. They're lots of fun. And also some films, little stop motion films I've started making. But basically, my channel is about making you feel better. So that's the idea. Is you feeling bad, you come on this channel, I'll tell you a story that makes you laugh, and I'll give you some anecdotes that you can do to move forward, just in case you want to make a living, if you're not already, doing what you love. Thank you. But yeah, oh nice, a visit from YouTube, always fun. Angie always visits me through YouTube. And then I think it was a couple of you guys wrote and said you could watch it all comfy in your bed on TV. because it was on a YouTube channel. So, yes, Bob, we are. Um, so, that's kind of cool. But, yeah, all day Terry. Oh, you're all in. We would have to see if I could do it. I think I could. I've always told people, you've got to tell me when to stop. Now I'm more conscious of that when I'm speaking, because Jim Rohn said for every minute you go over and someone is going to follow you when you're speaking live. So let's say I'm going to speak and then the next speaker would be like a Bob Gurr or something. For every minute that I take away from Bob, I'm telling Bob I think I'm more important than he is, or a Tony Baxter, or someone who you don't know, or a new artist or whatever. And that just broke my heart because I don't want to do that. Here, this is my channel. You can leave when you want. Right now, I'm just looking at your comments. So I always warn you when I'm going to do this so you can sign off if you got stuff to do. But that's a little different. It's all about basically, you never understood it. Yeah, neither did I. I didn't until later. And I think it was so my dad would be a scrapper. And my dad is one of the most gentle people. But he doesn't back down at stuff. He never has. Yeah, Janice, that's what it's for. And my husband puts it on in the background while he works. And he says it's just like having me in the room. So that's really nice to say. And like Angie said, she waits for it. And Bella, you all have such great things to say. And we're ending with Bella saying, time for bed. So when Bella comes back to see what she missed, I'm going to say, Bella, if you want to carve a pumpkin, let me know. And let me know when a good time is to do it. Family of Bella. Okay? Yeah. We love all of you over there. And we can't wait to come to the UK soon. To Canada soon. To Japan soon. To China soon. To Paris soon. We can't wait. Those were on my not bucket list, but on my list to go visit. And of course, with COVID-19, I can't do it. I flew like crazy before, and now I won't fly. Not right now. My husband, it terrorizes my husband. In fact, a client came to visit me yesterday. We social distanced while having lunch. It was lovely. But then he asked me, before we made this arrangement, he wanted me to take him to the airport. And my husband did not want me in a car with someone who I had not, is not in my bubble, without social distancing. But I have a convertible. So I just put the top down and we were fine. The air blew all around and we were outside, so it was safe. And my husband felt better about that because he just didn't want us in an enclosed car, and we're not 6 feet apart. My car is not that wide. If you guys have got one of those Suburbans, probably that was about 6 feet wide, or a Hummer, you're probably fine. But luckily for me, I have a Mustang convertible, so the top down, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "A wind in your hair," that we were perfectly fine and we were good, and it was great to see him. He's a lovely person. So that's what I'm saying. I can't have my husband concerned, and we wear masks and we're diligent. I think it's a great way to be. I think, when we were talking about it, we went to China together, me and my client, and when we were in China, there were people that were wearing masks. We went in 2016. There were people wearing masks all the time, and I thought it was such a kind gesture to let me know they weren't feeling well, so I could keep my distance on my own without insulting them, or knew that if I was up close, they were doing the best they could to keep me from getting sick. So honestly, guys, whatever your belief is, I don't care. Wear a mask. It's not going to kill you. It's something that's very, very important to do. Just so it lets people know that you want to get back to normal without even, you want to get back to some normalcy. You want people to be able to go back to work. You don't want people to starve. Okay? By wearing that, you're saying we're in this together, and that's my feeling about that. Okay, I love you guys. Do something nice for someone, and it will always make you feel better. Just imagine how great I would feel when somebody gets a gift from me and they just hold it up, like Bella. She hugged her little baby Sinclair when I sent it to her a couple years ago. And I look at that picture often because it just made me so happy. So it doesn't have to be a present, just a little note of kindness or whatever. And I always put one in when I mail you something. I put a little note in to tell you thank you or whatever, or enjoy or whatever when you buy something from my store. And yeah. And before I go, I know we've been on for a very long time, but let me just do one tiny teaser for those of you who are still out there. The Hitchhiking Ghosts. Oh my gosh. My R&D team showed me on, what day is it today? Wednesday. They brought over some test runs they've been doing. I still don't know how much of these are going to cost, but they're going to be amazing. If you are a collector of the Hitchhiking Ghosts and you think you've seen everything, you have not. These are amazing. I did have some changes, so I could not show them to you. They were prototypes, so I would not show them to you. I'm not going to show them to you till I'm happy. So, but that's coming. That is coming really soon, guys. It won't be Monday. It'll probably be Friday because we're meeting after my broadcasts on Monday to our phase 2. But once we lock this down, they are going to be mouth-watering stunning. And the reason I can speak this way is because it enhances my sculpting. My sculpting is a part of it, and they are coming out very cool. But the illumination part, just keep saving your money, guys, because you're going to want it. And I'm just praying that I can keep it in the brackets that I've stated. I may not be able to. I really don't know. My R&D team had some challenges, and so I don't know what the final price tag is going to be. But once they give me theirs and we figure it out, I will let you guys know. And then we're going to start taking pre-orders, which means I want you to pay up front. Now, here's the thing. Those of you who have reserved, there'll be more on this later, okay? I will talk about, this more once I know the price point. Everybody wants to know what the price point really is. I don't know. I don't know. I've given a guess. But they are beautiful. They are so beautiful. So with that, I love you guys. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Have fun. Don't forget the show on Sunday. I can't wait to hear what you think about it on Monday. And bye for now. Be well, be happy, be safe. And remember, you are the one who charts your course to your destiny, so make it happen. Love you. Take care, everybody. And there we go.